Right now, at this very second, there's a monster on the face of the sun that is so massive, so incredibly huge, that you can actually see it with your own eyes from Earth. I'm not talking about looking at images from a space telescope. I'm not talking about computer simulations or artist renderings. I'm telling you that if you step outside right now with the proper eye protection, look up at the sun, and you will see a dark spot on its surface. That dark spot is Sunspot region AR4366, and it is currently 15 times wider than planet Earth. 15 Earths, lined up side by side. That's how big this thing is. And for the next few days, before it rotates out of view, you have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness one of the most explosive features in our solar system with nothing more than a pair of eclipse glasses. This is Weather and Wealth, and I'm about to show you exactly how to safely see the solar flare factory that's been terrorizing our planet's magnetic field for the past week. Let me give you some context here because what we're dealing with is genuinely extraordinary. Sunspots come and go all the time. The sun is constantly churning with magnetic activity, producing spots that appear, grow, shrink, and disappear as the sun rotates. But AR4366 isn't just another sunspot. This is a beast. Yeah. Scientists are calling it the solar flare factory, and that nickname is well deserved. Since this region rotated into view on the eastern edge of the sun just 5 days ago, it has produced over 40 M-class flares and 6 X-class flares. To put that in perspective, most sunspot regions might produce a handful of moderate flares over their entire visible lifespan. AR4366 has been erupting almost constantly, sometimes firing off multiple major flares in a single hour. It's relentless, it's powerful, and it's still going strong. The most powerful eruption so far was that X8.1 flare we talked about earlier, which ranks as the third strongest solar flare of the entire current solar cycle. But AR4366 didn't stop there. It followed up with an X2.9, then an X1.7, then an X1.5. And just when forecasters thought maybe it was calming down, it fired off another massive burst. The magnetic field configuration in this region is what scientists classify as beta gamma delta, which is the most complex and unstable type of sunspot structure you can have. It's like a coiled spring under tremendous tension, ready to snap at any moment. And snap it has, over and over and over again. Now here's what makes this truly special. You can see this monster, not with a telescope, not with special equipment, just with your eyes and proper solar filters, and I need to stress this part with absolute clarity before we go any further. Never, ever, under any circumstances, look directly at the sun without proper eye protection. I'm talking about ISO-certified solar eclipse glasses, or a telescope with a proper solar filter. Regular sunglasses will not protect you. Stacking multiple pairs of sunglasses will not protect you. Looking through your phone camera without a filter will not protect you. The sun puts out intense ultraviolet and infrared radiation that will burn your retinas instantly and permanently. You won't feel it happening because your retinas don't have pain receptors, but the damage is irreversible. Blindness is permanent. So please, I'm begging you, only view the sun with proper certified solar filters. Ours. Assuming you have eclipse glasses and millions of people still have them left over from recent solar eclipses, here's what you do. Pick a time around midday when the sun is high in the sky. This gives you the clearest view through the least amount of atmosphere. Step outside, put on your eclipse glasses, and look up at the sun. Instead of the blinding white ball you normally can't look at, you'll see an orange or yellowish disk. And right near the center of that disk, you should see a dark spot. That's it. That's AR4366. It might look small because you're viewing it from 93 million miles away, but what you're seeing is a region of the sun's surface that is larger than 15 planet Earths. If you want a better view, and I highly recommend this, use binoculars or a telescope, but only with a proper solar filter attached. You can buy solar filters specifically designed for binoculars and telescopes from astronomy suppliers. With magnification, AR4366 transforms from a tiny dot into a massive complex structure. You'll see the dark umbra, which is the coolest and darkest part of the sunspot. You might see the lighter penumbra surrounding it, which is the outer region where magnetic fields are still disrupting the normal convection of hot gas. And if you're really lucky and have good equipment, you might even be able to make out the smaller individual spots within the larger group, because AR4366 isn't just one sunspot. It's a complex region with multiple dark cores all tangled together in a chaotic magnetic mess. You can even photograph this with your smartphone. Here's the trick. Put your eclipse glasses on and look at the sun to confirm you can see the sunspot. Then, hold your phone up and position the camera lens directly behind one of the lenses of your eclipse glasses. The eclipse glass acts as a solar filter for your phone camera. You might need to tap on your screen to focus and adjust exposure, but with a little patience, you can capture an image showing the sun as an orange disk with that dark spot visible on its surface. It's not going to be a professional quality astrophotography image, but it's yours. It's proof that you witnessed this monster with your own eyes. And honestly, there's something deeply satisfying about photographing a feature on the sun using nothing but eclipse glasses and a phone. Now, why does this matter? Why am I so excited about a dark spot on the sun? Because AR4366 represents something rare and powerful. Sunspots of this size and complexity don't come along very often. The last time we saw sustained solar activity at this level was during previous solar maximum periods. And even then, sunspot regions this large and this active are noteworthy. Scientists are actually comparing AR4366 to the famous sunspot that produced the Carrington Event in 1859. That sunspot was about twice the size of AR4366, and the geomagnetic storm it triggered was the most powerful in recorded history. Telegraph systems failed worldwide. Auroras were seen as far south as the Caribbean. The sky lit up so brightly that people could read newspapers at midnight by the glow of the northern lights. We're not dealing with anything quite that extreme right now, but AR4366 is roughly half the size of that historic monster, and it's producing flares with similar frequency and intensity to what was observed before the Carrington Event. If AR4366 had appeared on the sun 150 years ago, it would have been documented in historical records as a major solar event. The difference is that today we have satellites, power grids, GPS systems, and a technological infrastructure that's far more vulnerable to space weather than telegraph wires ever were. Every flare from AR4366 is a reminder that we live on a planet orbiting an active star, and that star has the power to disrupt our modern civilization if conditions align just right. But there's also something deeply humbling and awe-inspiring about being able to see this with your own eyes. We live in an age where most of our experience of the cosmos is mediated through screens and instruments. We see beautiful images from the James Webb Space Telescope or the Solar Dynamics Observatory, but those are processed data rendered into visual form by computers. Looking at AR4366 through eclipse glasses is different. You're using your own eyes, the photoreceptors in your retinas, to collect photons that left the sun's surface 8 minutes ago, traveled 93 million miles through the vacuum of space, passed through Earth's atmosphere, and reached your eye. You're not looking at a picture of a sunspot. You're looking at the actual sunspot. You're seeing it in real time, exactly as it exists right now, give or take 8 minutes for light travel time. And here's the urgent part. You need to do this soon. The sun rotates approximately once every 27 days as seen from Earth. AR4366 came into view on the eastern edge about 5 days ago. It's currently crossing the central meridian of the solar disk, which means it's facing Earth dead on. Over the next 3 to 4 days, it will continue rotating westward across the sun's face, and then it will disappear around the western edge. Once it's gone, it won't be visible again for about 2 weeks. And there's no guarantee it will still be active when it rotates back into view. Sunspot regions can persist for weeks or even months, but they can also break up and dissipate quickly. AR4366 might come back around for another appearance in mid-February, or it might fade away during its time on the sun's far side where we can't observe it from Earth. Weather and wealth is telling you this because opportunities like this are genuinely rare. I don't know when we'll next see a sunspot this large and this active positioned, where you can easily observe it. It might be months, it might be years, it could be a decade. Solar activity follows an 11-year cycle, and we're currently near solar maximum, which means we're in the peak period for sunspot activity. But even during solar maximum, monster regions like AR4366 are special. So here's your mission. Find your eclipse glasses. If you don't have any, ask friends or family. Check if local astronomy clubs are distributing them. Some science museums and planetariums give them away. If you absolutely can't get eclipse glasses, you can make a pinhole projector, which lets you view the sun indirectly by projecting its image onto a surface. There are hundreds of tutorials online showing how to make one with nothing more than cardboard and aluminum foil. However you do it, safely observe the sun over the next few days. Look for that dark spot. Show it to your kids, show it to your friends. Explain to them what they're seeing. You're looking at a magnetic storm on the surface of a star, a region so powerful that it's been hurling clouds of plasma across the solar system and lighting up Earth's skies with auroras. And while you're looking at it, remember that AR4366 is still active. Forecasters are giving an 80% probability of more M-class flares and a 40% chance of another X-class eruption over the next 48 hours. Every time this region flares, there's a possibility it could launch another Earth-directed coronal mass ejection. We could see more geomagnetic storms, more auroras, more impacts on technology and infrastructure. This story isn't over. The solar flare factory is still running, and we're all watching to see what it does next. Get outside, look up, witness the monster. This is Weather and Wealth, reminding you that the universe is putting on a show and you have a front row seat.